Wow. Don't you just love it when you talk about the new stuff and what's going on in real society, and you got super fans that are trying to distract you? Yeah. Especially when you got super fans that have nothing to do except try to stalk and harass your channel. I mean, don't worry about every word you say, every video you drop. I mean, come on. I mean, I got a super fan out there. I mean, he was worrying about which way my dick swings, which my balls drop, how I shoot my cream pie, what color cronies I'm wearing. I mean, fuck, he's always wearing like that. I mean, that's why I always try to make sure that I have the drape down when I take a shower, because I don't want this fucking infested shield cock flying a drone trying to take a peek at me. I'm in the shower. Like, I'm like, fuck that, dude. One person wanting to take a peek at me in the shower is my girlfriend. Yeah, this is the same shill who hasn't gotten laid in 11 years. Yeah. Yeah, he stalked me, shizzle. Yeah, unreal. Making stupid comment. Yeah, and he shows up like a couple days later, a couple bucks short at the party, saying, oh, Savvy dropped a link. Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago on the video. Yeah, well, she dropped the video, asked if I knew someone. Like, I don't know who this is. That was the same day I was talking about, the Renee Good shooting, and about how John Throsky needs to be investigated for charges like that. But this shill cuck, this little, he stalked me, shizzle. Yeah, the same cuck that cries on K-Ran's shoulder after getting dumped and pitched aside by Nicola. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm wasting my time in fucking buffoon, man. It's almost 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes deep in the video. Well, that's a minute and 42 seconds a lot longer than what Philemon does last night when he's fapping his deeky weeky on the phone, Nicola. Oh my God, yeah. Brian, man, he wrecked Benny Johnson. Like, oh yeah, that Pierre, that guy like that? Yeah. Dude, there's another guy. I mean, he fucking roasted. I mean, he wrecked Brandon Tatum. I mean, yeah, Brandon Tatum's like, fuck, I love it, man. I love it when these MAGA, shill cucks, propaganda. I mean, shit like that. Yeah, of course, Brandon Tatum is gonna go to bat for ICE and law enforcement. Yeah, because he was a cop. Yeah, he has a mindset. Oh, just comply. Back the blues. Stand with die. Brandon Tatum is a fascist piece of crap. I mean, he's no better than the Tim Pool, the Nick Shirleys, the Benny Johnsons of the world, yeah, the Caroline Lebeds and the Christy Gnomes in the world like that. I mean, Chuck Schumer's up there, but not like up there like that. Yeah, and Chuck Schumer's the same guy who was in the Epstein camp. Yeah, kissing that little girl on the lips that was so from Oprah Winfrey all girls school. But then remember when that creep band, Apple eating creep bandit, government gets men bread, go to give me one, baby, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and the midget were bitching like, oh, that's CP. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Chuck Schumer kissing a little girl lips, yeah. But you guys go back with you guys go back for Chuck Schumer, Sandy Hersha, yeah, Trump, yeah, mushroom gobblers out there. I mean, shill cocks, psyops, man. I mean, real psyops. And you got dumb people want to double down, saying all these events are staged and fake. Come on, Philemon goes around saying the Renee Good, Alex Preddy it's all staged and fake. It's all these it's all like that. But he'll double down and say, oh, these ICE agents are doing a great job protecting our country, making it great again like that. Yeah, because he's the type of person that backs him with sound ice, man. Bitch and moaned I did a cop watch the other day down the street. Yeah, he did, man. Bitch and moaned I did a cop watch out there on a traffic. So I was like 5 minutes. Like wow, Seaman's really stalking and harassing that cop out there. Like, okay, third. Idiot, man. Idiot. But yeah, man. I mean, he's just like fucking, when he's so bored, he rolls in his stock account and like that. Yeah, he do. My Premiere, Shizzle Chat, I think a couple other chats like that. Yeah, because that's some of a cuck brain like that. And wow, I guess him and Mally Duder fella had a fallout. Boom, saying it so. Oh man. Oh yeah. Well, see, that's how Philemon operates, man. I mean, that's how he's like a fucking he's like a mega shill cuck, a psyop. I mean, yeah, you agree with him on shit like that, but then the minute you disagree with the one little subject, yeah, kiss the ring, you're off the tee. That's exactly how it was with the fucking Prebe and the puppy mills, yeah. Oh yeah, of course he's gonna go bat for his fucking boy, Mike, aka state actor, aka Northside maniac, aka Robert Denton, the convicted megalith pedophile. I said, hey, Paul, why don't you go ask your boy Mike, aka state actor, why he moved from Sacramento to Pennsylvania? I know why. No, he won't. Fuck yeah, whatever he said. And he said, all I do is lie. Then he insinuates that I've been convicted, been charged from raping an underage girl, even unaliving one. Say that my court record is sealed, that I have very heinous and disturbing charges on my record. How long has he been saying that shit for? Fucking what past year? But no, this video is not about that fucking show call. It's about Benny Johnson getting obliterated by Brian Shapiro on the Pier show.
How about 17 minutes of Brian deliberating from Benny Johnson? Here we go.
Benny Johnson is somebody that I would say is a shill for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Shill.
That's a very polite word, Brian. Thank you.
So this is an example where I believe he's going after
All right.
Don Lemon.
Anyways, cocktail? You bet.
And we're getting into the Epstein files, and
Yep.
we're getting into all these different topics where the hypocrisy is evident. But this is a part in the clip where I just had to say it, and I've always wanted to say it on the Pearson Morgan show.
Pearson Morgan show. Okay.
Have a listen to this.
They watched the video in the grand jury indictment. They used his own video as the evidence against him, along with a number of other, and along with all of the evidence that was provided by the churchgoers. I'm saying that all of the above is wrong, and that you can't do that, that these are places of worship. These are also private property, and that Don Lemon was part of a conspiracy to do this because Don Lemon was working with the organizers. He was delivering coffee.
Boy, Benny's wrong.
What about Valentina Gomez? What about what she did? You call that shit out. Stream? Well, that's right. You're a mega cunt, Benny.
And started harassing the pastor.
No, he didn't.
What was also happening, it's on video. So what was also happening here was that little children were being wrongfully imprisoned. Did you know this? Like little children were being wrongfully imprisoned. Here, read the indictment. The children were being kept in their Sunday schools by the protesters, harassed, spit on, attacked.
Wow.
The children were not being harassed. They weren't spit on. You're a liar, Benny.
That is on video.
Benny's a liar, man.
It says in the video, these children look traumatized. Well, actually, that's the point. This is an exact quote from his live stream. And so, do you think that that's okay to do to like little children in a church, or children in a synagogue, or children in a mosque?
Dude, the children were not being attacked. They weren't being spit on. They were being mocked down. The protesters went in. All they did was go into church and say, hands up, don't shoot. Say her name, Renee Good. That's all they said.
I think it's all wrong. I think that these places of worship should be off limits for people protesting or attacking them.
Political operative.
It's not his job. It's the law. That's not what happened.
Administration.
That's
All
right.
right, let me bring okay, hang on. Don't talk at once. Don't all talk at once. Let me get to Brian next. Brian, I do think Benny raised a good point. That's why I tried to answer his question in real time. But it was aimed at everybody. Which is, if that had been Alex Jones, who does a version of what Don Lemon does, but to the right, if he had gone into a mosque, for example, and he'd gone in with a group of protesters who then interrupted the worship and traumatized young Muslim kids, right, or whatever, an exact similar situation, but a mosque and it's Alex Jones. Can you
Yeah, the kids were traumatized, but they weren't being harassed, mocked, and spit on like what Benny Johnson says.
Well, first of all, for full disclosure, I'm friends with Don Lemon, and to answer your question, Piers, if Alex Jones wasn't protesting, because Don Lemon wasn't protesting, Benny Johnson is lying when he says that Don Lemon harassed the pastor. If Alex Jones wasn't harassing anybody and didn't disturb anybody, I would be saying the same thing I'm about to say right now. Don Lemon was not protesting. He wasn't breaking the law. Maybe you could cite him for maybe trespassing. But that's
And Michael Burr was vindicantly exonerated of any wrongdoing and is justified shooting Ashley Babbitt.
If you beat cops, they're hostages and patriots. Benny, my advice to you is stop being a Donald Trump cop and tell the truth and be honest for once in your life. I know you make a lot of money. What about the candidate every single day? All right, there you go. There you go. What's your reaction to that?
Well, Don Lemon, when he got charged with is a police act. So on the act, you can't interrupt a church proceeding, but you have to, it's either with violence, threat of violence, or if you block people from going in and out.
Yeah, Benny was trying to say in the whole Don Lemon protest where you're saying they were assaulting, spitting on, and mocking the kids. They weren't doing anything like that. Yeah, it was a traumatized event. Their church service got disrupted for a half an hour. Don Lemon just took his camera phone out, started recording, and said, even did a minute with the pastor. He didn't say, "Oh, you gotta get out." He said, he asked him, "Please leave unless you're gonna worship with us." Don Lemon said, "Hey, I'll probably worship with you. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. I have no problem with that."
So that doesn't reach any of the elements. And they also did conspiracy. Now, as you know, in order to have conspiracy, you have to have somebody to conspire with who says, yes, we conspire. So I think all charges are going to be dropped. But I like the way that your integrity remained and you stayed honest. And you said, yeah, it was Alex Jones, if it was Greg Bavino, anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. It wasn't right. But Don Lemon was there as a journalist. And if you were there, you would have been there.
So you agree with my assessment?
He interviewed the pastor.
Yeah, he knew what was the heck on that. Dude, Valentina Gomez went into a church like that, called all the people in there sinners and pedophiles. She went there and disrupted church service like that. She was given multiple warnings, please leave, please get out. You're disrupting the service. And she's like, I don't care. But the DOJ's not going to investigate her. But if people want, Don Lemon needs to face felony charges. The protesters at the Whipple Center, they need to be charged like that. Anybody who bashed on Trump's administration and ICE and dirty cops out there, rich cops in the brain, they need to be investigated, face charges.
And the pastor didn't say the elements of trespassing are that you have to have a warning. They have to warn you you're trespassing, and then you refuse to leave.
You have to give a verbal warning.
And the implied trespassing is if somebody jumps over your gate into your yard, that's kind of an implied trespassing. But that didn't happen because it's a public place and the doors are open.
Yes.
Yeah,
Church is open for everybody.
Agree with you.
Anybody's welcome at
Sorry
church.
to get that out with Benny, but it does get a little worse. It does get a little bit more uncomfortable.
He didn't seem to be. Maybe he is, because he didn't seem to get that upset.
I was going to say this after, but I'll say it now. After my appearance, Benny started following me.
I think he likes you.
DM'd each other. Yeah, I'll get to that in a moment. But this is the point, Leonard. Where
Well, you got it's like you got super fans out there. They start following you, or they start going to your channel or stalking you, making stupid comments. I mean, I just had a premiere about a couple hours ago. Had nothing to do with the puppy mill, Indian bullshit. I'm covering the ICE protests, the shootings, the IDB identified, Renee Good, Alex Freddie like that. And you get these right-wing mega shills coming to your chat, want to disrupt us like that, and they call your name, don't like that. It don't bother me.
I call out right-wing hypocrisy. Have a
It's
listen.
just it makes when you get people that show up a dollar late and they don't show up at parties.
He's like, yeah, it's fine. So here you have.
Well, I think it's funny when you get your super fans calling you to chat, and when they got nothing else to say, so they fling insults like, "Oh, you're a creep, you're a map, you're a chomo, you're a rapist." Like, is that all you got? Really? Boring. Yawn fest. Come up with something new for your lame shtick. Instead of the same bullshit that you go on loop fucking 4 times a day.
You recall on your show about a month ago, I think we both agree she's despicable. She's running brothels in Texas. She went into a church, there's video of this, a month ago, and she called the churchgoers pedophiles.
Yeah.
They asked her to leave. Multiple people asked her to leave. I'm sure Benny is not talking about this where he'll say, I don't know anything about that. But she didn't leave right away. It's all on video.
She called people sinner. She was her LGBTQ community.
Not only is she not arrested, but the DOJ is not even investigating this case. So this is a double standard at a minimum.
Oh, yeah.
Don Lemon didn't break any laws. He wasn't harassing anybody. I'm sorry if a few kids were crying and their church service was disturbed. I really am sorry about that. But I care a little bit more about Renee Good's family and the fact that her kids are growing up without a mother. But yeah,
Yeah, then you got these right-wing people want to talk about, Alex Purdy in Chicago was at the protest, spitting on ice ages and kicking a car or kicking the tail like that. That has nothing to do with that. That doesn't justify Alex Purdy being shot, having 10 bullet holes into him. And they're talking about, we shouldn't come up with a gun. You can open carry Second Amendment. It doesn't matter where. And we just simply trying to help a lady. He wasn't resisting or egging on these federal officers. He was trying to help a female out. He was documenting, recording with his phone.
We don't want a full investigation into that. Let's call these people who were murdered domestic terrorists and assassins. But boy, that guy, Don Lemon, I can't believe he stormed the church and he did a couple interviews. Benny, give me effort. All right, so by the way, it's tough to say give me an
I imagine you might give me an right.
Yeah, you're 100% right, and it's a double standard that the Republicans and the MAGA right, they implore on everyone.
Of course.
A standard where, it's so they're pearl clutching about you going into the church, but if they do it, then it's just fine. And I think you were 100% right, but I'm surprised that Benny, you see, he's a little fiery.
He was soft. I think he was a little surprised.
Did they put something in it?
I don't know.
I thought he was gonna. I was expecting him to come back and say, "Oh yeah, Brian, no, this and this."
Well,
I bring up some
this
facts,
is what
but it
really-
seemed like he was listening to your points more than anything.
We'll get to the Epstein files in a moment because I destroyed him there. But on the Don Lemon topic, he called Don Lemon a black hole.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if he meant that in any terminology.
That sounds
based on
racist and
but it certainly sounds racist to me. So I want you to listen to this.
racist
I
and
challenge you.
derogatory.
Listen to his explanation, then I want to get your thoughts. Have a listen to this. Favor of that? It's like a hate crime. I'll answer that. I'll answer that. I'll answer that. He said it. There's multiple clips of it saying
black hole. If you want to talk about hate crimes.
That's a space term. That's like there's a term. There's something that exists in the galaxy. Can I answer because I asked him about this because he's done my show probably 5 times in the last month. So he believes there is something in this country called white privilege, Benny. You have it, and I have it. He does believe there are some cases in the church or in America where there is white supremacy. Now I know you probably believe there isn't anything in the, like Tucker Carlson, that white privilege doesn't exist in this country and white supremacy doesn't exist. But the fact of the matter is, Benny, is that it does.
Yeah,
Now, I'd like to go back to
Ku Klux Klan,
what did you mean by that when you made that statement?
I'm surprised you didn't call it a gay black hole.
Black hole is something that exists in space and time, and it absorbs gravity. And so it's just something that Don Lemon is going to take the gravity of the situation and use it to become more powerful. That's what I've said, and I said that the Trump administration has to be very careful in charging this, because this is what people do in these kind of circumstances.
Okay.
If you're Don
So,
Lemon,
Benny, I'll tell you what he won't do. Sure, so Benny, I'll tell you what Don Lemon won't do. He won't make billions of dollars in a crypto scandal. He won't build a ballroom for his own financial gain. Jared Kushner, one of his friends, won't be taking $2.1 billion from the Saudis. So if you want about taking up power over and having power and taking advantage of it, sure, Don Lemon's going to be more successful because of this. But do you know why? Because of the buffoons in the White House that decided to charge this guy, and I think most of us agree on this panel, it's not going to hold up in a court. So if you have anybody to blame for this, it's not Don Lemon. It's the morons like Pam Bondi and Donald Trump that did this to Don Lemon, which will help him.
The Caroline Levitt.
Please don't talk to me and lecture me about power and then taking advantage of that. But
I find it's amazing what you just admitted here, and I'm trying to be respectful as you're rambling. So you just said that it's okay that Don Lemon attacked this church because they're white.
So first of all, Don Lemon made general terms about the church. He wasn't specifically talking about an individual. He wasn't specifically talking about an individual group of people in the church. He made very generic and general claims, which I agree with him, that white supremacy in this country is a problem, and white privilege in this country is a problem as well. And if you don't agree with that there is something called white privilege, and that, yes, white supremacy is an issue in this country, then you can take the page from Tucker Carlson and have the blinders on and be complicit, Benny. That's up to you.
I think you're saying, you want bearing in mind that if Bernie was bearing in mind at this stage that Don is married
said yes
to a...
I didn't say yes. But What's your reaction to that?
I think he tried to pivot to say that black hole was something that sucks gravity. But let me tell you something, because I have a lot of black friends, and I grew up with, growing up in New Jersey, many of my friends are black, and if you call any black male, gay or straight, a black hole, they're going to take it as a pejorative term.
Well, that's how I take it.
They're not going to think science, okay? Oh, black hole, like, you know,
So
where
Leonard-
time doesn't exist.
So
Yeah.
Leonard, obviously I agree with you, okay? And I haven't heard him use that terminology to call somebody white then. That's why I questioned him on it, right? But I thought he backtracked, and I tried to get him there. I want to play you one more clip because this is an important one, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. But maybe if there's a way we can play the final 2 minutes. I don't know if there's a way you can do that. If you can fast, because it's a long clip, and I don't want to make you sit through the whole thing. It's like an 8-minute clip. But if there's a way that you can
Fuck, 10 or 15%. Gonna try to hurry this up a little bit.
Or so, about. It doesn't have to be. Because so I'll set it up for you. So Leonard, we've talked about the Epstein files a lot. And every single time you talk to somebody on the right, they usually bring up Bill Clinton, right? And he does that, he plays that game with me, and I'm just trying to ask him, you know, and I answer his question when it comes to Bill Clinton, and then I'm saying, will you give the same thought, criticism to Donald Trump, that maybe he did some bad things too, and it just, Nimrod, Benny Johnson is so bad.
For example, Elon Musk wrote him an email that said, "When is the wildest party?" Now who would ask a convicted known trafficker when is their wildest party on the
Yeah,
island?
especially a convicted rapist and pedophile.
You can say, "Oh, I didn't know," but listen, he didn't know. This is Epstein. He was a socialite, a New York socialite. These people all know each other. They know. Why is he asking him to party? He knows it because he's the party guy. He's the guy. Hey, I got the girls.
Yeah,
Age optional.
and I'll answer.
Yeah, it's just a number, kind of like what R. Kelly used to say. So is a prison number.
There are people that made statements to the FBI with the possibility, threatened of perjury if they were lying. I tend to believe those victims, but this is a pattern of behavior with Donald Trump. The 25 plus women that have come forward that have accused him of sexual assault or rape. The hiding, not wanting to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. It's very strange. He doesn't want to talk about it. He calls everybody stupid, who even brings it up. And again, I go back to E. Jean Carroll. I go back to him sexualizing his own daughter. I go back to him bragging about going into teenage girls' locker rooms on the Howard Stern show in a beauty pageant that he ran. So there is a history. Now, is it criminally? Have you proven anything in the court of law? Obviously not. But I think where there's smoke, there's fire. And I absolutely believe that the 3 million.
Yeah, going to teenager girl locker rooms, that's right there. That's a bona fide creep right there, all the way.
That I think are pretty damning to Donald Trump. Imagine what's left that they haven't released yet. So let's wait.
And people like Philemon probably would try to do that. And he goes around, I mean, he acts like the, or Lenny's too old for him. I said it to him. Hell yeah.
I agree with you that, yeah, Bill Clinton probably did some very bad things as well. But guess what? Bill Clinton is not the leader of the free world right now. Donald Trump is. And I have yet to see you actually make the case or make a claim.
Oh yeah, and Bill Clinton doesn't have he hasn't been on the flight or the, maybe he's been on the island, but he doesn't have a track record on the private plane with all the shit like Donald Trump has. Donald Trump has been recorded at least 8 times at Epstein on a personal private plane.
Very bad things with Jeffrey Epstein. I will admit that I wouldn't doubt the fact that Bill Clinton has done that. Are you willing to agree with me with some middle ground here and say, yeah, Donald Trump also probably did some bad things? Will you admit that right now on Pierce Court? No, of course not. Because there's no evidence. Of course not. Zero. Because you're not. That's why. That word in there one more time, Leonard. What do you make of that?
You know what my take is on the Clintons, and I'm going to predict this right now. side. It's going to be, they agreed to filming it, they agreed to it being in private, and they agreed to making a transcript of it. And I think it's going to be like Jack Smith. They thought they were going to bring Jack Smith in, and they were going to turn him around and be rhetorical with him and make him, miss his steps. And I think the reason why Bill and Hillary agreed to it is because I think they would just love to come in there and tell their side of the story. And
here's another thing too. I think when Bill Clinton, I heard a rumor about this speculation. One of my friends told me earlier about this. That she was talking about that shit. I think Bill Clinton went to the FC Island thinking there was going to be, women like Monica Lewinsky, because, Bill Clinton had an affair on Hillary with Monica Lewinsky, like that. He thought they're going to be grown women there, bikinis, stuff like that. He had no clue they're probably going to be, underage, like 11, 12 years old. Fuck, I'm done at 5%. I gotta wrap this up. I gotta get out of here.
They will as well. And keep in mind, Leonard, as you know, there's still 3 million files that have yet to be released with the Epstein files. Donald Trump will want to talk about it.
Of course he will.
We're going to take a quick break, Leonard, and when we come back, speaking of the Epstein files, a reporter that I think does a great job, Kate Collins, asked him about the Epstein files and survivors, and Trump just loses it yesterday.
Oh, he just went batshit crazy, calling stupid and shit like that. Saying, "Oh, you never smiled." Yeah, when you talk about real subject in nature, who wants to smile at me giggling and laughing about rape and molestation? You kidding me?
He doesn't want to. It doesn't matter if I'm popular enough. Come to me. Yeah, because apparently, if you're a Holocaust denier and you have a lot of followers, that gives you more gripe than somebody like you, who's a 25-year-plus police officer and a former lieutenant. My case is an imbecile, but I knew you would have destroyed him. I invited him on. I'll keep asking him. We'll see if we can get that done.
Bonus.
Gobbler for longer than 5 minutes, but that's still 4 minutes and 48 seconds longer than Donald Trump lasted with Stormy Daniels.
That was a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, that's 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Philemon lasted with Melissa, his ex. That's got to smile like Renee.
See what?
Anyways, I'm out here, my job. Peace out. Peace. Yeah, fuck eyes, walls them on, baby. Hey, come here, Philemon. Make another community post about me. I triple dog dare you. Oh yeah, better call the cops on me because they're the cop watch you every day. Dumb fucking creep map.